this way. Number 12. So negative 7s minus 2 is equal to 12. All right, this is easy. We want to get the variable s by itself. So first I got to get rid of the constant. Let me add 2, add 2. 12 plus 2 is 14. Negative 7 is brought down, and the s as well. So again, they are multiplying the s by negative 7. So what I'm about to do is divide by a negative 7. Divide the other side by a negative 7. So now s is by itself because these two become a 1, or how some of you like to call it, it gets canceled. Now 14 divided by negative 7 is negative 2. The answer should have been letter A. Now let's go ahead and move on to number 13. So 13 is y minus 3 over 4 is equal to 5 over 6. All right, pretty easy. A lot of you probably didn't know how to do this just because it was a fraction, but we are supposed to solve it the same way. So here the constant is negative 3/4. They are subtracting 3/4. So what I'm about to do is add 3/4. Add 3/4. So now here we have a problem. These can get canceled out, but here we don't have the same denominator. When you have fractions, you have to have the same denominator. How do we get the same denominator? Well, we have to find their LCD, their least common denominator. We multiply by a 2 here by getting not 2 here on the right side, by a 3, sorry. Their least common denominator would be a 12. If I multiply the bottom here by a 2, I get 12. The top, I need to do the same thing. Here, 4 times 3 is 12. I'm going to do it to the top as well. So 5 times 2 is 10. 6 times 2 is 12. We're adding, so I'm going to bring the addition sign. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. So 10 plus 9 is equal to 19 over 12. Now, a lot of you probably got this far, but in the test, you panicked and you said, well, I don't know where the answer is, blah, 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 blah. Well, the answer was in the test, okay? I didn't make a mistake on this one, at least not this one. The only thing is that a lot of you are not getting used to the idea that you can't leave it like this. This is an improper fraction. Technically, it is a correct answer, I'm not going to lie, but what if it shows up like this as a mixed number? What are you going to do? Well, you have to remember how to convert this to a mixed number. The way to do that is dividing. This is really a division bar, so 12 fits into 19 one time. You get a remainder 7, and you always write your remainder over your denominator, which is 12. So these two are equivalent amounts. So technically, y, right? Y, because y is left by itself on the left side. Y is equal to 1 and 7 over 12. So the correct answer was B. All right, let's move on to number 14. Here's 14. Simplify this expression, 11n minus the quantity 3n plus 7. So I'm actually going to write it down here. So they're asking you to simplify, or simplify. Let's see, 14. 11n minus the quantity of 3n minus 7. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that there's technically a 1 right there, an invisible 1. I've said it many times in class. So if you're dozing off, that's your bad, not mine. So let's go ahead and distribute that negative 1. Negative 1 times 3n would give me negative 3n. I'm doing this. And negative 1 times a negative 7 would be positive 7, because a negative times a negative is positive. I'm going to bring down the 11n because I have not done anything with it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and collect like terms now. 11n minus 3n would give me 8n. And I'm going to bring that plus 7 down. So I've simplified this expression. So now that I go ahead and look at my answers, let's see, it should have been letter D. Okay, so here it is, letter D. Let's move on to 15. We're almost done. Okay, almost done. 15. Let's actually write it right here. 15 is also asking you to simplify. Oh, simplify. Forgot to spell for a second. 7y minus the quantity of 2y plus 9. Okay. Let's go ahead and solve this problem. Let's see. Here, technically, there's a negative 1 again. Negative 1 times 2y is negative 2y. Negative 1 times 9 is negative 9. Bring down the 7y. If you have $7, but you owe me 2, then you're going to pay me back those 2. And you're left with $5. I'm going to bring down the negative 9. My correct answer should have been letter B. All right, let's continue. Here is 16. 16 was a freebie, okay? 16 was a freebie because this positive 32 should have been a negative, and I'm going to show you why, okay? Here is my another sheet of paper because I ran out. So here's a problem. They're asking you to simplify again. The problem is 4a minus b minus 4 times a quantity of 5a minus 7b plus 8c. So, okay, this should be easy. There's a negative 4 in front of the parentheses, so what I'm about to do is distribute that negative 4. Negative 20a is my answer here. Negative 4 times a negative 7b will give me positive 28b. Negative 4 times a 8c would give me negative 32c. This is where that negative comes from, the one that I mentioned earlier. Now I'm going to bring down the negative b because I haven't used it yet. And I'm also going to bring down the 4a. Now, let's go ahead and simplify this even further by combining like terms. I can't combine these two, but I do have an a and another a here. So negative 20 and a 4a, if you owe me $20 and you have 4 to pay me back, then you're going to be left owing me $16. Cancel these two then. Now you owe me $1 and you have $28. So I'm going to pay back that $1 and you're going to be left with $27. Now, you owe me still $32, but I can't combine that with anything else. So my final answer should have been technically letter A, but I accidentally wrote a positive there. So I gave everybody a free point for this one. Let's move on to number 17. We're almost done. I know this video is getting a little long, but again, this is what happens when you fail a test, okay? So collect like terms, okay? That's what they're asking you to do, collect like terms. So here is your expression. 8a plus 8b plus 3a plus 3b. Well, pretty easy. If you have $8 and you have 3, then you have $11. Cancel these. If you have $8 and you have another $3, then you have $11. So the correct answer should have been B. All right. Now, the word problems, the ones that probably you found the hardest, but to me, I thought they were the easy ones. And again, yeah, I'm the math teacher. Who cares, okay? You should have asked in tutoring. So let's read the problem, okay? Let me zoom in a little bit. My phone is about to die. So it says, the total cost C in dollars of renting a sailboat for N amount of days is given by the equation below. If the total cost was $360, for how many days was the sailboat rented? Well, they told you early on in the problem that C represents the total cost. So we're going to replace that C with 360. So let's go ahead and do that. If we replace that C with 360, we get 360 is equal to 120 plus 60N. All right, let's go ahead and solve this now. Here's my constant, so I'm going to go ahead and move that to the left side. 360 minus 120 is 240. I'm going to bring down the 60N. They're multiplying the N by 60, so what I'm about to do is divide by 60. Divide the left side by 60. 240 divided by 60 is 4. This becomes a 1, and the N is brought down. So my letter should have been B. What does the 4 represent? It means that you can rent the boat for 4 days, and you're going to end up spending $360 total. All right, let's move on to number 19. We have two more, well, including this one, three more problems to go. Number 19 is telling you the cost to rent a construction crane is $750. So they're telling you right away that you have to pay $750 at least before you even go ahead and rent it per any additional day. So if you start off by paying a flat fee of $750, and then they're saying on top of that per day plus 200, so we're gonna write a plus $250 per every hour. So I'm gonna represent it by writing H. So you have to pay $750 plus $250 per every 1 hour that you rent it on top of that. So they're asking you, what is the maximum number of hours the crane can be used each day if the rental cost is not to exceed $2,500 per day? So they're saying, okay, well, you're going to pay $750 per day if you want to rent the crane, and $250 per every additional hour, but you don't want it to exceed $2,500 per day because that's all you can spend on the crane. Well, then we're going to set our equation equal to $2,500 because we can only spend that much. So if we go ahead and solve this equation, I'm going to subtract 750, 2,500, subtracted 750 from it is 1,750, which is equal to 250 hours times hours. Now they're multiplying the hours by 250, so I'm going to go ahead and divide by 250, and 1750 divided by 250 is actually 13. So you can rent the crane for, is it 13? It's not 13, it's 7. Sorry, I don't know why I said 13. It's 7. Because 7 times 250, right? Let's do some side math here. 250 times 7. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 3 is 17. So yeah, it's actually H is equal to 7. So the answer is C. That means you can rent the crane for 7 hours in order to spend a maximum of $2,500. All right, if you have more questions on this, ask me in class, please, or come to tutoring. Now, we're almost done. Second to last problem. The lengths of the sides of a triangle are y plus 1, and 7 centimeters. So that means you have a triangle. It's not an equilateral triangle because all the sides are not the same. Clearly, one of the sides is y, another one is y plus 1, and another one is called 7. If the perimeter is 56 centimeters, what is the value of y? So they're pretty much asking you, what is this side? Well, if the perimeter involves adding all sides, then let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and add 7 plus y plus 1 plus that 7. And they're saying that it's equal to 56. So I'm actually going to set this equal to 56. Equal to 56. So let's go ahead and combine like terms. Y plus y is 2y plus that 1 plus that 7. This is actually 8. So 2y plus 8 is equal to 56. If I subtract 8 from the left side, 56 minus 8 is, let's see, borrow 4, 16, that's 8. Is 48. Bring down these cancel. I'm going to bring down the 2y. Now they're multiplying the y by 2, so that means I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2. Divide by 2. So y is now by itself. So y is equal to 48 divided by 2 is in fact, 2 goes into that one, 24. So the correct answer for this problem should have been letter A. So that means this side is 24. So let's go ahead and actually talk about this. This side is actually 24, but this side is actually 24 plus 1, which is 25, and this side is 7. All right, well, it makes sense because 24 plus 7 is 33. Is it 33? Yep. Plus 25. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, anyways, ignore that. I don't know why. Let's see what this problem is talking about. 21. Alright, well, 20. This is actually the one we talked about in class now that I remember. 120-foot long rope is cut into 3 pieces. Yep, I remember talking about this one. It's cut into 3 pieces, and they're telling you from here to here, it's 120, right? This length right here. The first piece of the rope is twice as long as the second one, but they don't tell us what the second one is worth. So we're going to go ahead and call the second piece, this middle one, X. Now they do tell us that the first one is twice as long as the second one. So twice as long means 2 times that one, which is 2x. The third one is, the third piece of rope is 3 times as long as the second one. Well, we already called the second one x, and that means this one is 3 times x. They're asking us, what is the length of the longest piece of rope? So they really want us to figure out what this length is. So then I'm going to go ahead and add these 3 lengths, 2x plus x plus 3x, and set it equal to the total that they told us they were equal to, 120. So now we can go ahead and collect like terms here. 2x plus x plus 3x would give me 6x. Now they're multiplying the x by 6, so I'm going to go ahead and divide by 6. So x is equal to 20. So 20 is not the answer. So if you picked A right away, shame on you. The question was really asking you, what is the length of this? So you should have taken that 20 and plugged it in here. 3 times 20 is 60. So the correct answer was C. Now that does it for the video for the corrections. Make sure that you do your corrections on a separate sheet of paper. And what I would suggest is for you to take lined paper and probably fold it in half the long way, like I've showed you in class. This is more acceptable work for me. All right. You title it test number 1, corrections, your name, date, period, and you start labeling it 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. All right. And have a good holiday.